What's up, Cigar Club family? Welcome back to another episode of the Cigar Club podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in and leaving your thoughts and feedback on each episode. If this is your first time joining us, the Cigar Club podcast is where we talk about all things cigars with you, the Cigar Club family. On today's episode, I will be live reacting to Cigar Aficionado's top 25 cigars of 2023. Now, this list did drop a few weeks ago, but I have done my darndest to avoid any spoilers. I think I've only seen one cigar from their top list, and honestly, I don't even remember what it was or where it was. So I've done a good job of kind of doing a social media blackout and avoiding any of the Cigar Aficionado's top 25 list. So that way, everything should be pretty genuine and a complete surprise to me as we go through the list this year. But before we jump into the top 25, on today's show, I am smoking the 2021 Las Calaveras limited edition from Crown Head Cigars. This is a Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and filler. And I'm smoking the LC50, which is a 5x50 Robusto. I haven't smoked this cigar, honestly, I think since we did a podcast on it back in 2021. I maybe have had one or two since then, but I don't quite remember it. So I'm really excited to see how these developed. Absolutely, you can see it shows up on there. Gorgeous yellow cello. So this had some nice age to it. Starting off beautifully right now. First cigar of the day. First cigar in the last few days. We are just a few days into the new year here. And so I had a couple days break from smoking with festivities and everything going on. It's also been a little cold here. I don't know how anyone outside of the South can smoke over the winter. I mean, it's like 38 degrees here, and I'm bundled up as much as I can be in the garage. So shout out to all of you northern smokers who either A, have a cigar cave for the winter or just bear it and sit outside and smoke in the freezing cold. So let's jump into it. We're going to kind of move quickly through 25 through 10, and then we'll kind of slow down with the Cigar Aficionado's top 10 and kind of discuss each cigar individually. So Ramsey, if you'll throw up the first five for me. Well, coming in at number 25, I'm already excited to see this cigar on there because this is one of my favorite cigars of last year. It's the West Tampa Red. They specifically have the Robusto Vitola, and that cigar is absolutely phenomenal. I talked about this on the previous episode. I don't remember where I had it in my rankings because it's been a few weeks since we shot that episode, but I absolutely love this cigar. This is a cigar that will be coming to some of your January boxes, so really cool timing on seeing this in Cigar Aficionado's top 25. I look forward to smoking more of the West Tampa line and seeing what they have in store for us coming in 2024, 2025, etc. But really great start. I'm actually kind of really excited now to see, since normally I kind of poo-poo on Cigar Aficionado's top list. The top 10's probably going to be predictable, but it's great to see a newcomer, so to speak, in the top 25 here. So coming in at number 24 is the Padilla Miami 8 and 11 Churchill. Padilla is a brand that I'm familiar with, but I don't smoke too much of, so I can't really speak too much on that one. But coming in at number 23 is the Rafael Gonzalez Corona de Lonsdale. I believe this is a Cuban brand, if memory serves. But hey, why not? And then number 22, excited. I want to jump to that one right away. It's going to be one that you're all very familiar with, and that's going to be the Osner family cigar, Bosphorus B52. Incredible cigar. We featured this back in when it first released. I want to say maybe June, April or May of 2023, and we enjoyed that cigar so much we did a unique Vitola for it as well. So really great to see Osner, Tim, get on there on Cigar Aficionado's top 25 list, with last year being the first year that the Osner family cigars kind of hit the market, hit the public. So that's really, really awesome to see. All right, so out of those first top five, love 25 and love 22. And I say Osner family cigars last year. It may have been 2022 that they came out. It all starts to run together at one point. But anywho, it's great to see Tim breach that top 25. Coming in at number 21, we've got the La Flor Dominicana Double Ligero Lancero. We had smoked the Double Ligero on a previous episode when we were doing strength cigars with a lot of strength. I don't remember the Vitola. I don't think we smoked a Lancero, but I have heard a lot of people enjoy the Lancero Vitola of the Double E Hero. It's not particularly a cigar for me. If someone were to approach me and hand me the cigar, I'd have no issue smoking it. But for the most part, it just doesn't necessarily resonate with me. Still a great cigar. Obviously, it made Cigar Aficionado's top list, but not a cigar that I'm particularly a fan of, but great nonetheless. Number 20 is a cigar that actually I've been wanting to smoke and get my hands on for a while, and I just can't seem to get it. Sure, I could probably order it online, but I kind of want to find this one in a brick and mortar for whatever reason and kind of support a local store. I don't know why, no reason to it, but that's going to be the Olmec Claro Corona Gorda out of Foundation Cigars. This cigar to me is just absolutely beautiful. I love the band of it. I love the look of it. We tried to get this cigar for boxes last year, and it just was always sold out. We could never get, the quantity or that we needed. So it's no surprise that this made the list with as well as they were selling and kind of the demand that everyone had for this cigar. So that's really great to see on there. And another cigar that made my top list of 2023, coming in at number 19, that's going to be the Foreign Affair by Luciano Cigars in the Corona Vitola. I was absolutely blown away by this cigar when I smoked it. I believe it was early last year, before it really had started to hit the market, and blown away with it. That's another cigar that's going to be coming into some of your January boxes. So, that's pretty cool to see two cigars on Cigar Aficionado's list that are already going to be in January boxes. That's incredible. But coming in at number 18 is going to be the Tatuaje Miami Havana. Another kind of classic cigar. I would be surprised if this cigar hasn't been on Cigar Aficionado's top list in the past. It's the, for those who maybe aren't watching it, it's going to be the Tatuaje that's got to me, has their iconic darkish red, brown label. Probably to me, their most recognizable cigar and kind of their staple of their entire lineup. So, wow. I got to say, very thrilled to see 21 through 18 here. Honestly, a lot more variety and diversity than I typically would associate with the Cigar Aficionado's top list. Now, that being said, like I said previously, usually the top 10 gets a little predictable and you start to see some new brands as well as some diversity in the 11 through 25. But absolutely thrilled so far. I have no issues with this top list to start off with. Coming in at number 17, we've got the Monte Cristo 1935 Anniversary Edition de Monte Grande. This to me looks similar. I believe it was last year that the Monte Cristo was their top cigar of the year or within their top three. I don't smoke many, if any, from the Monte Cristo, the U.S. Monte Cristo line. I believe by the looks of it, this is the American branded Monte Cristo. It's not the Cuban Monte Cristo. I could be incorrect on that one, but a lot of people eat these up. A lot of people enjoy it. If given, I'd certainly smoke it, but not one that I'm going to seek out or, potentially grab in a brick and mortar. Now, knowing it came in at number 17, if I saw it, I'd probably pick it up. But, if I wasn't aware of it being on a top list, I'd probably scoot by it. But, there's nothing, it's a historic line. It's a great line of cigars. I just prefer a little, more boutique brands. But coming into the next one, number 16, kind of shocked to see it out of the top 15 here, but it's a Cohiba Pyramid Extra Cuban Cohiba, that is specifically. I was out of the country back in November and stopped by a few places that carried Cuban cigars, actual LCDHs, and it's like $150 for a Cohiba. Like, I'm not US. Never in a million years am I going to pay that kind of money for a Cuban cigar. It's too hit or miss, and the quality control is not there. I think within the last 2-3 years, prices of Cubans have gone up by like 500%, something astronomical. And at the end of the day, I don't think the average person, specifically in the United States, obviously there's a huge European and Asian market for Cuban cigars, but I don't think anyone in the United States is going to be jumping up and down to spend $150 on a single Cuban cigar. Coming in number 15, this cigar, as far as I'm aware, has made Cigar Aficionado's list multiple times, and that's going to be the Ashton Virgin Sun-Grown. VSG is kind of how I know that cigar. Great cigar, absolutely wonderful. Probably my favorite. I think probably the most well-known Ashton cigar out of all the Ashton lineup. Really good cigar. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's made Cigar Aficionado's top 25 multiple times in various different Vitolas over the years. Coming in number 14, love to see this one on here. We've got Caldwell Long Live the Queen Ace of Hearts. This was a new addition to the Caldwell lineup this year, I believe. Haven't had a chance to smoke this one, I don't believe. I don't think I've seen this cigar. I'm trying to go through my head. I have a couple new Caldwells from this year, but I don't know, or at least new to me, I don't know if the Queen, Long Live the Queen, is one of those. But I've seen a lot of people on Instagram smoke this cigar, and so great to see Robert come in, break that top 15 with Long Live the Queen. Update. Las Calaveras 2021, this is much better than any other previous times that I remember smoking it. The flavors have kind of aged beautifully. Those really, really nicely for this blend. I've got a few more of these that I'm certainly excited to kind of see how they age. I think I've kept one of each of the Las Calaveras lines that I've smoked. I usually buy a box or at least a 5-pack or one of their samplers. And these are always really fun to come back to because I think they just all age beautifully. And this cigar is no exception. Great start to the morning with this one. But coming in at number 13 is My Father Le Bijou 1922 100 Años Limited Edition Corona Especial. I have not smoked this cigar. I've smoked the Le Bijou 1922 numerous times. It's one of my absolute favorite My Father cigars. And I want to say I have this cigar in my humidor somewhere. I have a couple limited edition My Father cigars that I've acquired over the years, and I think I may have picked this one up at some point. So I need to go through my humidor and take a look and see if it is one. And if so, I need to smoke that bad boy. Coming in at number 12 is the Trinidad Espiritu Series number 1 Bellicoso. I don't know, Ramsey, maybe you can check in the background for me. I don't know if this is the Cuban Trinidad line or if this is the American Trinidad line. I can't tell based off the band alone, but not a cigar that I'm super familiar with, whether it's the Cuban line or the American line. But coming in at number 12, it must be a pretty good cigar. Coming in at number 11 is going to be a Romeo y Julieta Línea de Oro Hidalgos. This is the Cuban version of the Romeo y Julieta. Another Cuban brand. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, these Cuban cigars, I don't mind them including by all means, because it certainly shouldn't be limited to what we'll call New World cigars by any means. However, it's just one of those as a U.S. consumer that I can't get excited for. I will never see these cigars, but all that to say, I understand and appreciate that they'll include those as well. But for me, just does nothing for me. So now we're going to jump into we kind of breeze through those, but we're going to jump into the top 10 and kind of look at each cigar individually. Hopefully I've smoked a few of these, or hopefully I've been able or can be able to speak upon some of these top 10, and they're not all just Cuban cigars that I can't get excited for. But without further ado, let's jump into number 10 of Cigar Aficionado's top cigars of 2023. Okay, well, this is a great start. So coming in at number 10 is the Artesanal del Tabaco El Puplo Bellicoso Grande. This is a cigar that we had smoked at PCA, and surprisingly enough, did not break my top 5 of the year on the previous episode that we did. However, this was in the top 10. I honestly think the only reason it didn't breach my top 5 is because I smoked it in June and like maybe July after PCA, and it just wasn't kind of fresh on my mind. But this cigar, there are 2 cigars that were standouts at PCA this year, or for 2023, and that was the El Puplo here, and then the Cavalier Domaine Rouge cigar. Both of these cigars were complete standouts. Specifically, the El Puplo, we had been, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 cigars deep at that point. And when a cigar can stand out and kind of showcase itself after you've been smoking cigars all day for multiple days, really speaks to how good that cigar is. And I remember all of us, when we smoked this cigar on the show floor, we immediately knew we needed to get it in boxes and put in an order. I think we shipped this cigar just a few months ago. So really great to see those guys come in at Cigar Aficionado's top 10. This is a great start already. So really glad to see them, and really looking forward to what the other ones we've got here are going to be. So heck, I love it. Let's go. Coming in at number 9 is the La Aroma de Cuba Mi Amor Bellicoso. If memory serves, I think La Aroma de Cuba made the list last year. Don't hold my feet to the fire on that one. But, another brand that every time I smoke, absolutely blown away with the construction, the quality, the smoke output, the ash, the burn line, everything about the La Aroma de Cuba line or brand always blows me away. And yet it's a brand that I don't smoke enough of for whatever reason, whether they don't come to my local brick and mortars, or maybe I pass over them for a new brand that I want to try, or a new release that I want to try. But anytime I do find myself smoking one or come in possession of one, I'm always blown away by everything about it. So great to see them at number 9. The band on this one is a beautiful kind of like Miami Vice teal blue. Kind of reminds me of driving down South Beach and seeing all the old hotels. So yeah, that's going to be one that I'm going to have to search for and seek out because I do want to smoke that one. Okay, I'm impressed with the 8 through 10 so far. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm certainly happier than I have been in previous years with Cigar Aficionado's top 25 so far. Coming in at number 8 is a brand that you all know and you all love. This cigar to me is absolutely perfection, and that's going to be the Alec Bradley Prensado Torpedo. We have included this cigar many times in its various different Vitolas over the years. This particular Vitola is my absolute favorite. This cigar is chocolatey, it's creamy, it's smooth, it's balanced. It's a cigar that you can give to all cigar lovers. We use Magic Toast as kind of like a benchmark for, hey, I know this cigar seems to be dark and scary, but it's creamy, it's delicious, it's balanced. The Alec Bradley Prensado is that for me as well. Incredible cigar. Like I said, we've smoked pretty much every Vitola available for the Prensado, and the Torpedo, although I'm usually not a Torpedo guy, I'm select in which torpedoes I do like. This blend works perfectly and beautifully in the Torpedo Vitola. So if you haven't smoked this cigar, or maybe this cigar in the Torpedo Vitola, go get it, smoke it. Not only is it number 8 on Cigar Aficionado's top 23, but I think it's probably one of my favorite Alec Bradley cigars. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the Blackened Cigars M81 by Drew Estate in the Corona Vitola. This was the cigar they did in collaboration with the frontman of Metallica, James Hetfield. He also did a whiskey that was called Blackened, which was, the brand is slipping off the top of my head, but he did a whiskey with named Blackened American Whiskey. There it is. Thank you, Ramsey. So this was made with Drew Estate in Nicaragua. I've seen so many photos of him backstage behind concerts, drinking the whiskey and smoking this cigar. This is one that I actually haven't seen in person. I know Ramsey and I have toiled around with the idea of doing kind of like a celebrity cigar episode where we smoke a bunch of different celebrity cigars and kind of pick our favorites. So we need to kind of bring that one back and kind of go through the ever-growing list of celebrity cigars. So let us know in the comments below if you want to see us do that celebrity episode. But taking a look here, they came in at number 7. They gave it a rating of 95. Comes in at $9.15. Yeah, it looks great. I would certainly smoke it. I have, Drew Estate makes great cigars. It's a Mexican wrapper. This is one that I believe was spoiled for me in the fact that it was in the top or made the list. I don't think I saw the number, but I remember, I think it was Casa 1910 tweeted out or posted on their Instagram how excited they were that a cigar utilizing Mexican tobacco made the top list. But I don't think I saw that it came in at number 7. So coming in at number 6 here, we do have a Cuban cigar. That's going to be the Partagas Serie P number 2. Yeah, I've smoked a couple Partagas's before. And, memory serves, they used to be fairly well priced back before the huge Cuban price hike. I don't have a feeling one way or the other. I knew there would be Cubans in the top 10. I'll be curious to see afterwards when I kind of sit down and actually do, deep dive into each of these behind the scenes, so to speak, if this particular Partagas has ever made the top 10 before. I certainly know Partagas's have made Cigar Aficionado's top 25, certainly the top 10, but whether or not it's made 6 or, top 5 or anything like that, I'll be curious to see. But, great cigars. I have no issues with the Partagas lineup. And, coming in at number 6, definitely speaks highly of it. Wow. Coming in at a surprising, not number 1, but not surprising to be in the top 5. And that's going to be EP Carrillo's Allegiance Confidant. EPC has produced nothing but cigars of the years. The number 1 Cigar Aficionado of the year for, I can't tell you how many times. I think probably 3 or 4 times. It seems like anytime he releases a new cigar, it's going to land in the top 10. So no surprise to see this coming in at number 5. If anything, it's a surprise to see it at number 5 and maybe not number 3 or number 1 itself. Not a brand that I smoke a lot of, but I smoke a lot of cigars that were made at the EPC factory. He has a wonderful knack for balance, blending different tobaccos. This one in particular features an Ecuadorian wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and filler. Coming in medium to full, which is what I would expect. He blends cigars in a way that, despite it being medium to full, usually smoke like a true medium. I think there's something that is special about a blender who can blend a cigar that is nuanced, it's balanced. It may spike up a little bit towards that full, but then it's going to come right back down to medium and kind of walk you through this journey of a cigar. Multiple transitions are usually what I associate with cigars that are made by EPC. And so no surprising there. One that I would certainly love to get my hands on and smoke. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the Rocky Patel ALR 2nd Edition Toro. Ramsey, if you'll pull that up, I would love to see what ALR stands for. The band on this cigar is very familiar. I know Rocky over the years has really started to push into kind of more of that boutique price range, if that can be a thing. Something in that $12 to $16 range. I think Rocky just came out with a $100 cigar. It looks like a gold bar. So for years, I've always associated Rocky Patel for whether it's real or just kind of my imagination, but more of a value. I don't want to use the word introduction cigar, but I feel like a lot of people gravitate towards Rocky Patel probably because they have a dominant presence in most humidors. But as that kind of entry-level $6 to $8 range, maybe even some cheaper to that with some of their flavored cigars, infused cigars. So it's exciting to see Rocky, at least in my view of things, start to kind of push out into those more premium range cigars. The few that I've smoked, top of my head, I believe is the 55. I smoked a few years ago at the Rocky Patel Lounge in Atlanta. Absolutely phenomenal cigar. Kind of certainly opened my eyes up to the more premium lineup of Rocky Patel. So ALR stands for aged, limited, and rare. Makes sense. Another Mexican wrapper here with Nicaraguan binder and filler, made in their Nicaraguan factory. Let me take a brief read here. So it looks like this isn't the first time this cigar has been in their top 25. So it's a new one to me, but I imagine it's this first edition. It appeared in 2019. Back then, came in at their number 5 cigar in 2019. And so coming in for 2023, it's moved up to the number 4 spot. I would definitely love to get my hands on this cigar and kind of see what it has to offer. Cigar Aficionado goes on to say there's rich layers of nutmeg, German chocolate cake, and shredded coconut, which makes sense if you're having a German chocolate cake. Those two things go hand in hand. So that sounds absolutely amazing. Would love to smoke on it. If you have tried this cigar or any of other kind of more premium Rocky Patel cigars, definitely let us know in the comments below, or if you're in our Discord, I'd love to see you smoking one of these. All right. Well, number 3, I know a lot of people will be excited about this cigar, and this cigar, I was excited to smoke it for the very first time a few years ago after hearing nothing but excitement about it. And I don't know, maybe it was just the hype that I had built up around it, or maybe others had built up around it, because everyone says it's one of their favorite cigars. So I know it's me in this situation. But coming in at number 3, it's going to be the Oliva Serie V Melanio Toro. This is a cigar that pretty much everyone but me who smokes it is blown away by just how good it is, how approachable it is. For me, I don't know. There's something about it. Like I said, I don't know, maybe if I had hyped it up too much, or if others had hyped it up too much for me, just didn't hit my expectations. Ramsey, if you could pull up the details on it, I want to see if they mention where this one has landed previously for them. But Ecuadorian wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. Let's see. Skimming through the article here, because I want to say off the top of my head that this cigar has appeared on Cigar Aficionado's top 25. I also want to say it's appeared in the top 10, if not top 5 previously, whether it's different Vitolas, and maybe not specifically the Toro Vitola, but I definitely believe this one has graced their top 10 list before. But like I said, I know this one is particular to me that's not a fan of it, but I don't think there's another person that I've met who has smoked this cigar that doesn't say it's not a box-worthy purchase. So no surprise coming in at number 3. I'm very happy with the lack of, for lack of better words, Cubans in this top 10. I think we've only seen 1 or 2. And I'm willing to bet that that's just basically due to the more limited availability of Cuban cigars. It's getting harder and harder to find them. It's getting harder and harder to afford them. I know there's been lots of talk lessened over the years. And so I think that's starting to find its way into the lack of Cubans here in broadly speaking, the top 25. So number 3, Oliva Serie V Melanio in Toro. And let's see, it's probably going to be 2 Cubans here at 2 and 1, but here we go. All right, coming in at number 2, I'm supposed to guess what it's going to be. I'm going to be honest with you, we have not seen a Padron. So my answer, if it's not number 2, then I'm sure a Padron is number 1. I'm going to say Padron 1926 Torpedo, number 2. Let's see what we get. Oh, son of a gun. Look at that. Coming in at number 2 is the Padron 1926, number 48 Maduro. I didn't clarify whether I thought it would be the natural or the Maduro. What is, Ramsey, if you'll pull it up, what is the number 48 Vitola? Because I hate their nomenclature for Vitolas. Number 48 doesn't tell me jack squat. This is a 5.5 by 60, so it's like a Robusto Extra or a Robusto Gordo. I don't know. It just... Oh, yeah. Highlight that. Padron makes it to the top 25 list every year. I have no issues with Padrones making the top 25 list every year. What I have an issue with is nothing changes. It's literally the same blend every time. And so I guess, yeah, if it makes it one year, it should make it every year. But it seems that in the top 5 every year, I know they say top 25, but it feels like the top 5 every year has a Padron in it. Everyone loves them. There's nothing wrong with it. The 1926 is a great one. I have several 1926s in my humidor. I will smoke them on occasion. It's hard for me to be excited about Padrones and there's nothing wrong with it. They stick to their guns. They know what their consumer likes, and they consistently make Padron cigars. You smoke a Padron, and chances are that you're smoking a Padron. Last year, I think this was last year, Ramsey showed me the 1964 made it. That was 2022. 2021 was the 1964 Torpedo. So it's just every year. 2000 was the 1964 coming in at number 3. So they're just constantly in the top 5 or top 10. 2019, Padron 1926, number 6. Like, I don't know. It's just hard for me to get excited about. I like innovation. I like people and manufacturers taking risks. I like when a blender is able to see what tobacco can do. 2018, they came in at number, was that 4? So yeah, pretty much always in the top 5. I don't know. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with Padron. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I like trying new things, and I don't necessarily think Padron brings that to the table for me as a brand. I'm going to get railed through the comments for, not jumping up and down about another Padron and Cigar Aficionado's top list, but I like trying new things. I like trying different tobaccos. I like trying different blending of different tobaccos, and Padron just doesn't bring that for me. They're consistent, they're great, but I like innovation. So coming in at number 1, I did, as Ramsey was trying to pull up the vault, I did look like I saw a spoiler. So I won't give my guess, but it's no shock to see this as the number 1 cigar of the year for 2023, and that's going to be the Fuente Opus X Reserva de Chateau. Ramsey, if you'll pull up the full specs of this cigar so I can do a breakdown of it. So this is a 7x48 ring gauge, which I absolutely love. $20 banger. They gave it a 97 rating. A Dominican Puro. Let me do a little reading here of this one. So it was a few years ago. I've only smoked 3 of the Reserva de Chateaus in my cigar smoking experience. I don't have any more of these. I was gracious enough to be gifted a tin of these, and absolutely wonderful cigar. Cigar Aficionado goes on to talk about the ring gauge of the cigar being somewhat slimmer, that the wrapper plays more of a major role in the smoking experience, and I could not agree more of that. And kind of why I gravitate towards some of these 48s, 46s. I love a 44. It just highlights a different part of a cigar that sometimes doesn't get highlighted. So the larger the ring gauge of a cigar, the more of the filler is going to have an impact. And to me, the wrapper leaf, it's the most expensive part of the cigar. So I like when that's able to shine more. A Lancero, Corona Gorda, Corona, those Vitolas allow that portion or part of the cigar to shine more. Let's see. What is now known as Chateau de la Fuente is a farm located in Bono, where the soil differs from other growing regions in the Dominican Republic. It's lighter and loamier with a higher clay content. Interesting. I didn't know that I didn't know the story behind the Chateau line. So yeah, I don't know if this particular cigar from Fuente has made it before, but certainly Opus X has graced the Cigar Aficionado's top list in the past. So all that to say, I think out of all of the top 25s of the last 6-7 years that I've really been kind of diving into or being excited behind Cigar Aficionado's top list, I think this is the one that I've most excited about, most, I don't want to say happy, but happy about. A lot of cigars that I personally enjoyed have made it to the top 25. I think you're always going to have an Opus, you're always going to have a Padron, you're always going to have a Cuban brand in the top 5. But I thought there was a lot of diversity in their top 25 this year. I love seeing the Alec Bradley on there. I love seeing the ADT El Pupolo. I love seeing the West Tampa coming in at number 25. So yeah, overall, much more excited for this year's top 25 than I had before. Caldwell, Luciano, Tatuaje, Osner Family Cigar, Bosphorus coming in at number 22. Much more relatable this year, I think, for the average cigar consumer. Much more relatable in the sense that out of these top 25, there's a large handful of these cigars that you're going to be able to acquire at your local brick and mortar on a regular basis. They're not going to be a limited edition Cuban cigar. Not too many Cuban cigars on here in general, maybe 3, 4, maybe 5. But for the most part, you'll be able to find these cigars at your local brick and mortar, online, wherever you frequent or wherever you shop. Chances are you're going to be able to get your hands on these. And I think for me as a consumer, that's exciting because there's nothing less engaging than having a top 5 or a top 10 list where only the people at Cigar Aficionado are probably going to be able to smoke those. And so that's exciting to me. I know personally there's a handful of these cigars on the top 25 and in the top 10 that I'm going to look for at my local brick and mortar or an online store and see if I can kind of get my hands on these and smoke them and see kind of where I thought they line up with what Cigar Aficionado has rated there. So overall, wow, I'm actually impressed. Usually I'm kind of left at the end of these episodes downtrodden and annoyed, but shout out to the people at Cigar Aficionado, and I think you put together a pretty strong list this year. I know it's all supposedly anonymous, that I believe they're shipped the cigars without bans, although I do believe that in order to be qualified for the top 25 cigars, I think you maybe have to have an advertisement spot purchased, or I know there is you have to submit the cigar to be reviewed, and I imagine there is a process to which you can get that cigar submitted. So there is it's not just them smoking every single cigar under the sun. There is a kind of a process that they go through. So I understand, not every single cigar in the world could potentially make the top 25. So all that to say, this year, very excited, and hats off and applaud to that top 25 list. So before wow, that was a quick 40 minutes. Holy moly. Well, let's jump into a giveaway for today. Let me scroll down. Oh, actually, let me jump back. We got some questions on Instagram. So we asked y'all over on Instagram what you thought of the list. And so let me jump into some of the comments here. Yeah, we've got from our good friend over Owlin Cigars. If you don't follow him, one of the best cigar photographers on Instagram. He said, bruh, same old, same old. I agree. However, there were some highlights. So I am happy with the newcomers to Cigar Aficionado's top 25. But like I said, you're always going to find Padron up there. You're always going to find Fuente. And you're always going to find some Cuban cigars. So I do agree, but I was excited to see some of those newcomers. This one's coming from to Symbol 11. Predictable and boring, all fine cigars, but nothing that's going to move the needle for anyone. I agree, but like I said, those ones that I particularly highlighted throughout the show, throughout the episode, are ones that I would definitely recommend going to seek. I know me personally, I definitely want to find the new EPC cigar, and I want to try the ASL by Rocky Patel and kind of see what he's able to do with some of that kind of more rare or aged limited tobacco, and kind of see what he is doing in that more premium price range. And this one comes from Bay Area _cigars. El Puplo should have been much higher, and stop with the Oliva and Padron favoritism. I'm right there with you. I think West Tampa should have been top 15, top 10 as well. I think that one was way too high in the list. But nevertheless, I'm excited to see those cigars make the top 25. I hope that draws the attention to those brands that is deserved for each of them. And really excited to kind of see, now that they're kind of more well-known by making this list, to see the kind of influx of new cigar smokers to those brands, or cigar smokers to those brands. So that's exciting and really great to see. And let's jump into a question of the show. Sorry, not a question. Let's go giveaway of the show. I want to know in the comments below, first off, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, ring that bell so you know when new videos go up. But what cigar of the year list do you want us to see? Do you want us to react to? We're going to be doing a future episode where we look at other publications outside of Cigar Aficionado that do a top 10, top 25 year in review. I know Half Wheel does one. Cigar Dojo does one. Cigar Journal does one as well, but I don't know the timing of theirs. But let us know, what are your favorite kind of publications that do a top list of the year? Let us know in the comments below. And we're going to select the one of the comments to send out a 5-pack of our Principal exclusive that we did with Darren over at Principal Cigars 2 years ago. We were able to get our hands on some more of these when we were over at Darren's house in Nashville I guess it was August of 2023. He had a couple bundles of these just kind of aging away in his humidor that he said that we could get our hands on. So let us know in the comments below, what cigar of the year list do you want us to do a reaction to? We're going to do a future episode with a couple of our favorites, and we'll select a winner and send out a 5-pack of our well-aged KBF Principal Cigar exclusive. So thank you all again for joining us. Stay tuned for our Cigar Club Top 10 rated by you, the Cigar Club family. That'll be more than likely the next episode. We may wait a few more weeks to let some of the December reviews come in. I know it's been chilly, holiday plans, New Year's, so not everyone had the time to smoke their December cigar. So it may be the next episode or maybe an episode or two after this one. But really excited for that one. I love going through and reading the comments and ratings of the various different cigars that we shipped out over 2023. And that one's always really exciting to me because that gives us really like the consumer level, what you liked, kind of unbiased, just straight raw rating review of what we shipped out. So that's going to be really exciting to see. So stay tuned for that future episode. But until next time, everyone, happy smoking. Cheers.